Ranking Jin-Woo's shadows from weakest to strongest. Jin-Woo's Shadow Army was filled with absolute monsters, warriors so powerful that even monarchs feared them. But which one was the strongest? Today, we're ranking Jin-Woo's top shadows from weakest to strongest, and trust me, the final one will blow your mind, the Blood Red Knight. Kicking off our list is Blood Red Commander Igris. Igris was the first elite knight Jin-Woo ever recruited, and his swordsmanship was unmatched. He wasn't the flashiest, but he was fast, durable, and insanely skilled in battle. Despite his insane swordplay, Igris lacked the raw destructive power of the stronger shadows. But what made him so special was his loyalty. He never hesitated to protect Jin-Woo, making him one of the most reliable fighters in the army. Keycap 4 Beru, the terrifying Ant King. Next up, we have the one and only Beru, the terrifying Ant King of Jeju Island. Before becoming a shadow, he was already an absolute menace, wiping out S-rank hunters like they were nothing. As a shadow, Beru became even stronger, gaining insane regeneration, powerful claws, and a scream that could paralyze enemies in fear. But even though he was terrifying, he still wasn't the strongest shadow in Jin-Woo's army. Keycap 3 Kamish, the legendary dragon. Now, this one is tricky. Kamish was never officially part of Jin-Woo's army, but if he had been resurrected, he could have been one of the most overpowered beings in existence. Kamish was the strongest magic beast in history, a dragon so powerful that it took an entire army of hunters to bring him down. If Jin-Woo had turned him into a shadow, he could have rivaled even the monarchs themselves. Unfortunately, he was too strong to be resurrected, but imagine how unstoppable he would have been as a shadow. Keycap 2 Bellion, the Grand Marshal. At number 2, we have Bellion, the Grand Marshal of the Shadow Army. This guy wasn't just another summon. He was Ashbourne's personal right-hand man. Bellion was so powerful that he could go toe-to-toe with monarchs. His swordplay was ridiculously fast, and his golden chains could restrain even the most powerful enemies. If Jin-Woo never inherited Ashbourne's power, Bellion would have been his ultimate weapon. But as strong as Bellion was, there was still one being that surpassed him. Keycap 1 Ashbourne, the true Shadow Monarch. And at number 1, we have the god of death himself, Ashbourne, the original Shadow Monarch. Ashbourne was the strongest ruler, and after passing his power to Jin-Woo, he transformed him into a literal god. At full power, Ashbourne had control over millions of shadows, god-level abilities, and the power to erase beings from existence. Once Jin-Woo inherited Ashbourne's full power, he became the strongest being in the universe, surpassing even the monarchs and rulers. This wasn't just shadow summoning. This was complete dominion over death itself. Final ranking recap. Let's break it down one last time. Keycap 5 Igris, the Blood Red Knight, deadly swordsman, insanely durable. Keycap 4 Beru, the Ant King, fast, terrifying, and a total beast in battle. Keycap 3 Kamish, the legendary dragon, would have been a monster if resurrected. Keycap 2 Bellion, the Grand Marshal, one of the strongest warriors under Ashbourne. Keycap 1 Ashbourne, the true Shadow Monarch, the literal god of death, ultimate power. From unstoppable warriors to god-tier beings, Jin-Woo's Shadow Army was one of the most overpowered forces in anime history. But what do you think? Should Kamish have been resurrected? Was Bellion stronger than we thought? Let's talk in the comments.